Paradoxically, the Southern was one of the first to introduce large-scale electrification schemes. And yet at the same time, it was one of the last to use steam power on express traffic. Basingstoke is on the main Waterloo to Bournemouth line. In 1964, the electrification of this line was announced, and the first of the electric services reached here in 1966, culminating in the introduction of a full service in July 1967. However, until that date, this busy location played host to a wide range of steam operations. These platforms once echoed to the sound of merchant navies, standard class 5s, and Monsell 460s. We'll now go back to 1964, and using archive film, we'll recreate the age of steam on the Southern. The BR standard class 5s did some of their best work on the Southern, but by 1964, the diesels, which were to become the class 33s, were already appearing. On the main line, the bullied Pacific still held sway. Here, a merchant navy rushes through with a Bournemouth Express. Basingstoke played host to various cross-country workings, and consequently saw a wide variety of motive power. By the time these scenes were taken, the S-15s were approaching the end of their days, and were relegated mostly to engineers' trains and local freights. Halls also made regular appearances on workings from Reading. Western Steam was nearing the end of its days, and 7909 is in an appalling state. The electrification of the line was to see the upgrading of the signalling equipment, with the semaphores replaced by colour lights in November 1966. Until that time, some of the signals between here and Woking were operated by compressed air and controlled by track circuits. This system was introduced in 1906 and represented the first installation of automatic signalling in the country. We'll now move further east to another junction station on the Southern network. As well as a major commuter station, Guildford is where the Tunbridge to Reading cross-country route meets the Portsmouth direct line. This location has changed very little since the end of steam, with the station retaining awnings and buildings from the Southern era, although a major rebuild is now in sight. "25 years ago, the station was the centre of a cross-country freight network and saw a wide variety of secondary passenger workings as well as some long-distance traffic. The Q1 Austerity 060s had been a familiar sight in the area since the war, and the last of them finished their days here. last of the Monsell Moguls were also based here. These engines have always been associated with the Guildford-Tunbridge line. The Ivor 262 tanks were to work the Horsham line until its closure. This three-cylinder W class is probably a visitor from Norwood Junction. The next main interchange for this cross-country line was at Redhill. Soon, steam in the area would succumb to Type 3 diesels. Late in 1964, the few remaining Monsell 260s were sent to perform on engineering trains in connection with the Bournemouth electrification scheme. By 1965, steam had finished on this fascinating cross-country route.